Hello, Tamara here. Welcome to the show. Today's guest is Dan Salas, owner and CEO of Surgery Life Enhancement, but started as a patient and has been involved for over 30 years in the clinic. All right. Thanks for joining me, Dan.
Thanks for having me. Hi.
Hi. Yes, I'm very interested to hear how you started as a patient and now you're the owner. So you must have liked what happened. Just want to share more about it.
Well, do you want me to go back to when I first started developing thoughts about a larger penis or having a larger penis? I would think I was about 9 years old. So I was very, very young. I still look back and go, why were these thoughts going through a 9-year-old's mind and thoughts? But I'm just reporting what happened it started at 9 years old. When I hit puberty, I realized that I wasn't going to get any bigger. It was a very traumatizing experience. And at 21, I knew that's it. I'm not going to grow any further. And my size was no bigger than I was when I was 11, 12, except I had pubic hair. That was it. So but I found a clinic here in Beverly. I'm from Southern California. I was born in Hollywood, and there's a clinic in Beverly Hills in the early 90s. And I called and I scheduled, and I haven't, like I mentioned, I haven't looked back. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I can share my story as a patient and also on the other side as the business end of it.
Yeah.
So
I know. I was gonna say I did an episode on condom sizes, like from a company that makes individualized condoms, and they said the best selling ones are always the smallest size. So I think it's more common than people talk about. But yeah,
80% of men are average, or even below average. 15% are above, or the ones you see on video, the porn. Sorry.
yeah.
But that was my reference, is a guy with the 10-inch, 12-inch, and it's like, oh my God, it's really confusing at that age.
And as women, those are way too big. Like I don't even know how they have sex with them in the porns. Like that would just hurt so bad. So yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But
yeah. Yes,
So
I know.
yeah, if you want to, I'm happy to hear about how you as a patient side, or what we can talk about what happened and how it worked out better for you, or whichever angle you want.
Well, okay. So, we'll talk about what led me to the surgical table, right?
Okay.
That has a story onto itself. So, yeah, when I hit 21 and realized this is it, I'm not, especially 22, and you still have a very below average size. I remember looking at, this is pre-internet. So I was going through the newspaper and found an ad in the LA Times in the sports section. And it said, to attention men, the future is here. And I knew I'd been wanting it since I was 9. I thought I was crazy, right? I thought I was like, why am I thinking this? Why is it so important? Why has it consumed me? And so I had it done at 24. And now after 31 years of being involved, I realized that 80% of us are the same size I was when I thought I was the only one on the planet with this size, my small size.
Yeah.
And I realized coming after 31 years, wow, most of us are this size. I didn't know that at 9 years old.
Yeah. And does it involve? Like the first surgery you had, or is it the same procedure now that it was back then?
No, the analogy I use is what cell phone were you holding in 1995, 97, 2000?
Yeah.
Now, what cell phone are you holding in 2025? My point is, so has the male enhancement procedures. They've evolved. It's no longer pagers, right? In terms of technology, the days of fat injections are over. The days of skin grafts from your back being inserted into your shaft are over. It's now moved on to PMMA and other less invasive procedures.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know anything existed. So what did it used to be And then what is it now?
It started off with fat injections. So they would take fat and transfer it into your shaft. But it felt like you injected a bunch of cottage cheese. So even when erect, it didn't feel. It was like you had the erection, but on top you had the quote unquote cottage cheese fat. Then we went to skin in the late 90s, early 2000s. We took skin grafts, much like a burn victim that needs to transfer. You've seen that before, right?
Yeah.
Where people take skin from their back or legs and transfer it to these areas that need dermis. So we took that discipline, that technique, and applied it to the penis. And I signed up for it. I was a guinea pig because there wasn't anything that we had to use as a reference. Like, okay, we've done it for 30 years. This is what to avoid. No. When I signed up, it was rolling the dice. But at that point, I saw the good and the bad. And I knew that I was taking a risk, but it was worth it. For me, anyways. Me personally was worth, jumping and taking.
Was it more your confidence or more having the other person see it, with the enhancement, or where was the...
I was born in 1970. So as I was growing up, courtesy stalls or going to the bathroom with, let me just give you an example. If you're at Dodgers, I'm from Los Angeles. I go to watch the Dodgers, and in their public restrooms, there's no at least when I was going as a young boy, there were no courtesy stalls. So bathrooms in the 70s, there was no such thing as like, get behind the little wall to hide your size, if that's how you felt anyways.
Yeah.
And so I was born into a world where you had to see it. There was no, courtesy stalls or courtesy curtains were not a thing when I was growing up. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, in gym class and stuff, he has open showers and all that kind of stuff too back then. So, yeah.
Yes.
So what is the procedure now that actually, I assume it's effective, and how does it work?
Yeah. And it's tough. PMMA, it took even somebody that has years of experience, took me a long time to understand the way the fillers work today. They're fillers that they're like Botox. They're injected into the shaft of the penis. But this PMMA material filler creates or promotes permanent connective tissue, blood supply. It's your own DNA. So it's not like we're inserting some silicone or a hyaluronic acid in something that's temporary or that really isn't your own body. PMMA is designed in such a way where once it's injected, your body encapsulates it, which causes connective tissue. And then the PMMA goes away. It metabolizes over the course of 2 or 3 months, leaving behind connective tissue. There's no magic. It's just the product that tricks your body into creating new tissue. Where before, when I had mine done, I had to take the skin from my back. Same results. You end up with tissue, connective tissue. But here with the new technology today, you no longer have to take skin from other areas or fat or...
Hi, Tamara here. Just wanted to break in and say, if something you're hearing is making you think of a friend who could use this information, feel free to forward it to them right now. They would probably really be grateful for that. Thank you so much. Bye. And I assume it's safe since you have done it and do it for other people.
Yeah, it's got about if you follow the instructions and do, a lot of people don't realize when you have, especially elective surgery, where it's not like you had some car accident and you need emergency surgery, surgery that's time sensitive. No, this is something you plan. So just start, eating better, drinking a little more water, go to the gym. prepare yourself for the procedure, and your outcome will definitely come out better if you prepare. It's called preconditioning the penis before surgery. There's a lot you can do before you even come to see us or any
Okay.
doctor that offers this procedure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I assume your clinic, the Surgery Life Enhancement, is one of the places. Is it common in lots of places, or is it certain places or countries or
You know,
everywhere?
that's a great question. When I was doing my research, my homework on a clinic, it was just finding a clinic. I didn't even know one existed. Much touching on what you said at the beginning of this interview, you're like, I didn't even know this existed. It's been around since I found it in 94, and it was around before then. So yeah, sorry, can you repeat the first question? I kind of got lost in thought here. Sorry.
No, I was asking, does your clinic, the Surgery Life Enhancement, offers it, and is it now in lots of places, or like what do you offer specifically in
Absolutely.
yours?
Yeah. So when I starting this interview, I mentioned that this is a clinic ran by we run. Our protocol is based off patient's experience, not what obviously the doctor factors in. He gives his opinion, but most of our protocol was established from patients giving us constructive criticism. Even I didn't like the way I was treated after my procedure. And instead of really getting upset, I turned a negative into a positive and started my own clinic that paid attention to the patient's feelings, not just the clinic and the doctor. They're important,
Okay.
yes, but the patients, we need to make sure that they're good. And I didn't get that treatment. And I try to give that treatment to my clients because I'm a patient.
Yeah. And how long has the clinic been around? The same amount of time since, or when? Yeah.
Well,
When did you start it after?
it's Surgery Life Enhancement. I won't take the credit. A patient of mine came up with that name, Surgery Life Enhancement, and I went with it back. But it's 31 years and it's changed names. I've had Fallow Care, Mel Bridge, Surgery Life Enhancement. There's other names, but Surgery Life Enhancement is the mothership. That's where we all meeting of the minds in terms of figure out we're always constantly figuring out how to make it better.
And how many patients have received this, or like, is it common or still not known so much, or?
Well, no, with the power of the internet and, everybody's holding iPhones or,
Yeah.
cell phones, with with the click of a button, you just go to Google and type in male enhancement clinic in my area. And
Okay.
a bunch will pop up where, again, I found mine in the back of a newspaper.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of clinics popping up all over the world. Take advantage, guys. Don't live if you feel this way, don't live like that. Take advantage of these clinics. Take advantage of the services. A lot of people of intelligent doctors and clinics are popping up everywhere. And there's a list of good clinics, and there's a list of clinics you probably should stay away from. But we can call balls and strikes. If you're doing good work, we'll support you. We don't care if we're not making a penny off your sale. The point is, is the patient satisfied?
Yeah. And does it add, like, how much generally does it add to the size?
Well,
Do you need more than one
okay,
to?
so it varies, right? And can I just share with you my experience?
Yeah.
I'll give you the brief overview. Before having anything done, if I took a toilet roll, everybody knows what a toilet roll is. So if I
Yeah.
took a toilet roll and I put my erect penis inside the toilet roll, it was so short that it wouldn't come out the other end. And it was so thin that it wouldn't even went right in. No problem. Now, today, may I say this? It's as thick as a soda can. So it's like, if you grab a soda can, that's how thick it is. They call me Soda. My nickname is Soda Can Dan amongst my patients and friends. But the point is from soda can, from going into a toilet roll very easily to having a soda can girth or very thick, or let's just say I'm very thick, psychologically, the confidence is off scale. I feel like, I feel like a man. Like this is what I should have been born with. Is really the only way I can describe it.
Yeah. And I'm sure women know this too, but yeah, girth is definitely preferred to length if you have to pick one.
I really wish you to come on my PR campaign because yes, girth is king.
Yeah.
Length is great. You know what? Let me change that. There's some women that they call them size queens.
Yeah.
Girth is not important. I like length. There's women that are like, length is not important. I like girth. And that's what makes the world go round. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Some people like length. Some people, you just need to find the right one to match up with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So is there anything else that I didn't ask that you wanted to share? Or like how much?
I have 31 years of stories that you ask me, I'll be happy to, I will answer them because it's from hands-on experience. I'm not reading off a cue card or nobody's whispering in my ear what to say. I'm just going off the cuff and ask me a question. I'll be happy to answer.
Does it, since you did talk about lengthening girth, does it add length as well? Or is it mostly girth that this PMMA does?
Girth is much easier to achieve. So the girth is very easy. I won't go into details, but girth is easier to gain than length. So for example, I gained 2 inches in length and about 4 inches in girth. So I went from maybe 5 inches in girth to 9, 8.5, 9. And in length, I went from like barely not being able to come out the other end of a toilet roll. Well, I can't fit in a toilet roll, but if I had to, I guess I'm 7, which if I was born 5, now I'm 7. It's like someone that's 5'7" and now 6'1". How cool would that be to walk out your door and be 6'1", 6'2"? Your clothes hang differently. It sucks when you're short. I'm talking about male penis size, but also men. Men have surgery to gain height as well, but that's a whole nother talk show. And let's just stick to male enhancement. Yeah, it's a big jump when you were looking at a lifelong size. I wasn't expecting to be any bigger than what I was born with.
Yeah.
So,
and when
go ahead.
And when you are erect, does it feel like it's like you were saying before, it was cottage cheese ish, the early version of this stuff. So I'd imagine this version feels like natural or.
Yeah, because it's your own dermis. They took skin from my back and inserted it very strategically, but they wrapped it around my erectile tissue. So the core of my penis became thicker due to the added dermis, but the outside looks exactly the same as pre-surgery.
But PMMA, you don't need to do the skin graft anymore, like the newer version. Yeah.
No, it's called capsular contracture. And it's these tiny microspheres that are impregnated in the filler that your body wraps around. It doesn't reject it, it encapsulates it. And that encapsulation of the spheres that they're naked, you cannot see them.
Do you want to, so your clinic offers it, do you want to share how people can go there, or is it more of sending the message in general, or do you want to talk about your clinic specifically?
I could talk about my clinic specifically, but more importantly is the message. 55 now. And I'm not at the point in my stage in my career where, our clinic's the best. Our clinic, yes, if you ask me, of course I'm going to tell you that we're the best. You call another clinic, of course they're going to tell you they're the best. You know what? The point is Are there other clinics that are, it's impossible for me to service all the men on the planet. There has to be other services. It's like, imagine one gas station in all of America. The line of cars, you would go out of business because you can't keep up. So there's too many. It's now becoming more socially acceptable to admit that you had male enhancement surgery. So now these clinics are beginning to pop up, supply and demand. You have so many men that are now finally coming out of the closet, if you will, and saying, I want this. Yes, we do. We offer the surgery. Yes, you will come to a clinic where everybody's had the procedure. Most of us anyways. I can't speak for other clinics. I don't know because I hear the stories, some good, some bad, but so do we. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
We're not angels. We've had our 31 years. Think about it. Do something for 31 years and expect to be perfect for 31 years. You're out of your mind.
Yeah. I just didn't know if you wanted to share where your clinic is, if people do want to go there.
Oh, yes. Okay. So it's surgerylifeenhancement.com. And we're located in Baja, California, 5 minutes from the United States border. So I'm an American and I've been here off and on since 2011. And we are located in Baja, California, Tijuana, California. But I'm an American that happens to be living here, offering the service.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, you can share either, like I guess the biggest difference of someone and I don't know, I guess there's, I don't know, or how is it 100% success rate, like whatever you want to share?
Well, the success rate, ask any medical professional that offers, or let's say, for example, somebody that does brain surgery or spinal surgery. Not every single procedure turns out perfect, but the ones that do, oh my gosh, we have a gentleman that had an average, you would say he was average, now looks like a porn star, or somebody that's just, when you see it, you don't have words to describe how big he is and how big he's become. So I have before and after pictures. I can send them to you. So you can maybe, I don't know if you can show these on your podcast, but for me to describe it, but put it this way, it's like he was average, right? Just average length. And now he's like this.
As big as your arm.
As big as, he whips it out and it's like this. And I know that it's surgery because we did it. We did his surgery.
Yeah.
But other doctors are turning out great results as well. But we happen to, we have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had no idea that this was a thing. So for any of your listeners that don't know, good to know, especially if you're self-conscious about it. I mean, like I said, there's women that like all sizes. So, but if it affects you, then if you want to get this done. And what is the usual cost or, and how many, does it take more than one injection, or like how long does it take to see full results?
Right. Yeah. Much like the skin grafts that I had, you can do it multiple times. Same thing with PMMA. So we call it round one. Round one is putting in as much PMMA as possible. Typically garners about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of girth, forever girth. It's going to be with you for the rest of your life. And then you can come back 2 months later and, and have more put in. Round two, and gain another 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So typically most patients do 1 or 2 rounds. The guys that are married consult with their wives and go home and, test it out, so to speak. And call me and go, I want another round. Or some people say, I'm happy. It really just depends on the individual and his lifestyle.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm good there. Do you want to have like just closing comments or final thoughts about?
Was there anything that I left out or something that you wanted me to say?
No, I think that's great. I mean, I had no idea this exists. Now we all know. So it's good that it makes such a difference. But thank you very much for being on. And if you love this episode, be sure to tell your friends about it and rate it as well, and share the news that this kind of thing exists if you didn't know. All right. Thanks, everyone. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to point out that there is a send us a text message at the very beginning of the description, and you can use that to send an anonymous question or comment. So I'd really appreciate it. All right. Thanks.